Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing this July the 3rd, 2024, a day before Independence Day or the 4th of July holiday and this long holiday weekend. Bell notification, comment down below, like the channel and share to get that truth, trust, education, and information that you've come to expect and deserve from the #1 and channel created for you, the retail trader and investor, as we join on our mission and you follow along on my goal to become an asset millionaire via stocks, real estate, cryptocurrencies, gold and silver bullion and mining stocks, 401k, steady investing, as well as cash on the side for peace of mind, for emergencies, buying new and existing assets, earning 3 to 5% in interest with the money in the bank. And that's what we're looking at there. And the Bitcoin price, there's been a lot of movement today as there's been a lot of speculation that the Fed might, as Donald Trump's calling for Jerome Powell, the head criminal gangster and bankster, to step down because of incompetence, because Donald Trump wants to debase the United States currency at a faster clip, even though it's off to one of its first 6 months of the new year. In recent memory, you can see the Bitcoin price has been violently up and down. We're near an all-time high. I'm expecting a volatile weekend this weekend. And we do know what we talked about last night is over a long 3-day weekend with the major markets closed. We're either going to have a big dump to the downside, or by Monday, we're going to end up near here, this 98,000 and change, or we're going to have a new all-time high, and we're going to end up, as you do know yesterday, what we're warning about, on a big spread. We're going to either be up here near 20,000, or we're going to be down there near 98,000. And obviously a critical tell, something that you can look at to see sort of what's happening, is are you above the 50-day moving average? When you're below the 50-day moving average in the daily, you're coming down to this uptrending support immediately. If you're above the 50-day moving average in the daily, sitting there at about 104, 138 and 77 cents, you can pump to the upside. It's going to be very critical this weekend. It's going to be very exciting, and I expect a big explosion. I've been dubbing this as a mass explosion 4th of July weekend. The fireworks won't be the only thing exploding. The cryptocurrency prices are going to have a massive explosion, a massive breakout. Now, is the breakout going to be to the upside, or the breakout can also be to the downside? The term breakout just means you're breaking out of an existing area, which in this case, you can see we've been trading sideways for about 2.5 months, right? Since about early May. So a breakout to the upside would be $3,067. And obviously, we all know if we're above the moving averages, and in this case, they're all conglomerated right around each other, we're bullish. And you go into the upper target. If we're below those moving averages, you're bearish, and you're going to come down to this lower target, right? So that's what we're looking at there. But the breakout, it's very important, doesn't mean it's going to break to the upside. It just means it's going to break out. The breakout word doesn't mean a dictate price, right? If we look at the XRP price, you can see it's attempting to break out, but it's again getting rejected by the same area that we've been getting rejected on for the last several weeks, which has been up here right about the 230 range. And you can see why. You can see this big candlestick, right? As it sticks out, it's a big area of resistance when you're coming from above. Resistance, 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 initially resistance, major support to 209 neckline support. And you can see why, because you have major volume fall off below that. And when you have major volume fall off below it, that's a major support level. When you have a big candlestick overhead and then fall off above it, that's a major upper resistance, right? And that's why these areas have been getting resisted. And we're going to get into this XRP price, but something with this truth, trust, education, and information, because I'm seeing it on a lot of my feeds and scrolls. I know you guys are with real estate is another industry that is abused and fleeced people on the YouTube sphere. And the Burr method is floating around telling and touting quick, easy money by buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Well, there's a major problem with that when you're only putting 20% down on a property. Say, as they use these numbers, buy, rehab, repeat, buy your house for 100 grand, rehab 25 grand in repairs. Nobody knows how much repairs are going to cost up front. There's always hidden things and new things you find while you're trying to repair things that You seen and knew were the problem. All-in cost 125, new value after rehab. They're saying it's going to appraise for 175. You refinance a $75,000 loan to cash out 131,000 out of the $175,000 in equity, and then now you got to pay back your all-in cost, which is 125 minus the 25 that you put in, the 10% or the 20. So now you're sitting there at about 100. You're sitting there at about 30,000, and you take that money, and then that's supposed to be what you use to reinvest because it's tax-free and to buy new assets and to repeat the process. But the problem is, one tenant misses a payment, one tenant you can't find a place to fill, you have an emergency, a fire, anything like that, it derails the whole thing because you have a high loan that needs to be serviced with repairs, maintenance, insurance. And when one thing misses, your loan gets called, and that's how you spiral yourself into bankruptcy, even after it seemed like everything was going good. The BRRRR method can be done. You can make money with it, but no, when you're seeing all these advertising, and the only reason I'm bringing it up on a crypto station is because just the way they're using that in real estate as a get-rich-quick scheme, you see that a lot with these YouTube channels, the get-rich-quick scheme with the crypto, when it's actually a long-term strategic game in order to get rich or to make a lot of money. But you can see we're still above the 209 neckline support, and this weekend, this is the area that you're watching, because if you break below this 209 neckline support, just like you have an XLM, you're coming straight down to a wick low of $1.62. If you can stay above the two moving averages and the 209 neckline support, you could try to make a weekend run up here to the 263 level. Like the channel, subscribe. I got to get back into work. Peace and love. The XLM price on our way out. You can see we did actually have a pump on the XLM price, what we were talking about last night. And if we're going to do what the XRP did, you're going to get back on top of this 25 cents and try to get up into these major moving averages overhead. Peace and love. The Rock Eyebrow J.